Hello, and welcome back to Theo's Coffee Break podcast, where the coffee is always on and warm at my coffee table. I'm your host, Theo, and today we're diving deep into the idea that who you are is shaped by what you consistently practice. Long before you ever stand up to preach about it to the world. This episode is personal, vulnerable, and hopefully encouraging, because I've realized how often we get caught up in appearances and forget that the real work of shaping who we are happens in private, in our habits, in the small daily acts that no one sees, or you might have been on autopilot for. So before we get started, take a seat if you are able to, take a sip, and settle in, because I am about to tell you a story about a young man who thought he had it all figured out until life unapologetically humbled him. Let me get started by telling you about a time in my life when I was outwardly performing passion, discipline, and purpose. I talked about big dreams, posted about them, made promises to myself and others that I fully intended on following through with. But inside, I wasn't practicing the kind of commitment that aligned with those words. I was exhausted, running on empty, overpromising and undernourishing my own spirit. What shifted for me was realizing that our credibility, our real strength, doesn't come from what we announce to the world. It comes from what we repeat in the quiet corners of our lives. It's in the moments when we're alone, when no one is clapping, when no one is checking in on us. But listen to me when I say, those are the moments where integrity is forged through the unforgiving fog and fires of life. Think about this with me for a moment. What does your morning routine say about your values? What does the way you talk to yourself say about your sense of worth? How do you handle disappointment or failure? And what does that reveal about your resilience and dedication to yourself? We often think, if I just post the right thing, say the right words, or craft the perfect image, then I'll be seen as authentic. But true authenticity isn't about image or how we are perceived. It's about alignment and living by example. It's when your inner world and outer world mirror each other, not through illusion or controlled perception by how we want to be received, because none of us are perfect no matter how hard we try. Trust me, I have done that and it failed miserably. But honestly, this is done with simple honesty. Authenticity is living honestly. It's that simple, folks. Don't try to twist it, okay? So here's what I want to challenge you with today. Where in your life are you practicing something quietly that actually strengthens your message? Where might there be a disconnect where you're saying one thing but doing another? And most importantly, how can you approach that with curiosity and not with shame? This isn't about beating ourselves up or where we fall short. This is about gently realigning so that the life we live behind the scenes empowers the life we show to the world. So for today's coffee break, I'll leave you with a few reflective questions. Or consider this food for thought from my coffee table to yours. I want to preach rest, but am I practicing it? If so, how? I want to preach creativity, but am I carving out time for it without shame or guilt? If so, what does that look like? I want to preach kindness, but am I extending it to myself when I mess up? And not just to others. You see, these small things matter. They add up. You are what you practice before you ever open your mouth to preach about it. And the more that you don't line these things up, the more resentment builds. So, take a deep breath with me. Inhale. Now let it out slowly. Exhale. Your greatest influence flows from your lived example, not your polished words. Keep practicing what matters to you, even when no one is watching, even when no one applauds, because that's where the magic happens. And that's where your real power grows. Thank you so much for joining me today on Theo's Coffee Break podcast. If this episode sparked something inside of you, I'd seriously love to hear from you. You can always reach out to me by sending me an email to theoscoffeebreakpodcast@gmail.com. Hey, truly, I hope this reflection encourages you to come back home to yourself with love, with honesty, and with grace. So until next time, take care of yourself and know that it's not too late. Also, please note that living authentically is so fulfilling, and that is what defines a meaningful life. Don't forget, you are always welcome at my coffee table. See you soon.